Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is Prayer. Welcome to the weekly forecast. Just gonna not be long. I'm just gonna quickly go the weekly forecast, looking at the market and what I'm looking at for the coming week in the financial market. Okay. Let's start. I'm just gonna start with giving a bit of our last week trade update for GBPAUD, GBP and ZD. Okay. For update, I'm out on break even. The reason why I decided to move to break even here, it's because we saw the market trading above, close above this previous high. On the retest, I wanted this high to hold, but eventually it failed. It took me out on break even. But on GBP I've taken a bit of a loss. I moved my stop loss to directly break even. However, I added a position at this daily high, the previous daily high at the support here. I added a position stop loss at break even. In fact, it was at this low here because if we were to look at closely, we created some sort of a trend line liquidity, some sort of trend line there. So therefore, my stop loss was at this low here. So the stop loss being at that low, while I've added a second position, then when Kingsburg took me out, so I've taken a loss on GBPAUD because of adding position. Otherwise, the first position I went out on break even. I mean, just tiny profit. Added position on the high, he took me out. On the next one, GBP and ZD also trail my stop loss. Here is the sign. Trail my stop loss to tiny profit. Also have taken me out on tiny profit, which adds to nothing because the other one I've added a bigger lot size, just hoping to capitalize on the momentum of the market. And then I went out. While on the other side, USD JPY, I'm still holding this trade just in drawdown. Hopefully, next week something might happen. We might see the market break down, hold this support, and continue lower. So this is the updates that I have for my trade. However, let's get to this weekly forecast. Oh, sorry. The last one that I have is gold. I've taken gold last week, Thursday. I shared this on the Telegram. So if you want to join our Telegram group or the Telegram group where we just speak about the financial market, whether it's a stock market or people that trade forex, we share the live trades there, or the ideas and fundamentals on what we're looking at and on the ideas we have. So for gold, we have taken gold on the breakout of this inversion fair value gap. We're on the breakout. We entered stop loss was just below there. Continue to the upside. Now we have moved out. Let me in fact update this here. We have moved our stop loss here. Stop trail. Uh, stop trail. Here we go. So we have a stop loss just above profit. So I'm hoping that it will reject at 50% of the 4-hour fair value gap and continue to the upside. But if we're to remember, if we're to look at the previous videos that we shared, and I think some of for the fundamentals on why I went long and my idea on gold, my target was to get gold into $30,000 per ounce, and we have reached that target for now. But I'm still looking into some gold will hold there and continue to the upside. The reason being, Trump's tariffs. There's so much uncertainty in the market because of Trump's tariffs, and also this brings me to the fundamentals. What we have looked at last week. So on the fundamental side of things, we'll start with CPI. CPI came out, and on the CPI side, we were on a trajectory of an uptrend from September, October. We started seeing CPI going up, inflation increasing. So with increasing inflation, we saw the dollar doing well. However, the indices also were doing well because I think also the US economy was doing extremely well. If we were to compare CPI with NFP job numbers, if we have to look at the NFP job numbers, they were good. From then, you look at September, the jobs were extremely good. This was a number which people thought there would be recession, but we never had recession. Look at these numbers. It shows that the jobs opening was quite well. Retail sales as well was in the positive for the longest time during the September era, where NFP was where here we go where CPI was high. Look at retail sales, we're doing quite well. And then January, we started seeing this retail sale going lower. We saw a negative in retail sales. That indicated a slowdown of the US economy. The US economy, employment rate, we saw employment rate was lower, but now we see that employment rate has slightly increased. This could be because our boss Trump, but we're not sure. The US, they just let people go in the government sector. However, we saw now that NFP numbers is 4.1, a slight increase, but it's not as bad as July 2024. So we're still good in the jobs data though. So when you look at CPI, you look at NFP employment rate, you can see that the economy started having indication that it's slowing down. We're clearly slowing down in the US economy. We started to slow down. Hence, when we came for this month, we saw now from 3% inflation now went back to 2.8, which was good. Personally, I believe it was good. I think CPI saved the US indices, or they saved the US stock market, because the US stock market was bleeding the previous week. It was literally bleeding to death. However, um, because generally it was bleeding, and we saw people now, they started thinking that there's recession coming. And when we saw lower CPI numbers, now the stock market started resting on support. But I'll just show you just now. This was good. Lower CPI saved the inflation, and with lower CPI, which is 2.8, now you start to have an idea that with lower economy, CPI coming down in the next few months or in the next quarter, that's when maybe we'll see the Feds cutting interest rates. But because now, the previous month, we never had an idea that the Feds will cut interest rates, given that CPI was increasing or inflation was on an uptrend. So with higher inflation, the Feds, the only possibility that I thought might happen was for the Feds to continue increasing interest rates, and that was not going to be good for the stock market. I think the stock market was going to continue getting a hitting. However, due to the fact that now we got retail sales that were lower, we got retail sales that were lower, we got retail sales that were lower, we got interest rate that went slightly higher, NFP data came out lower. Um, Let me just quickly show you PPI numbers. So I will speak about PPI numbers and combine all of them to show you that the US data basically clearly indicated a slowdown in the US economy. But let's look at last week PPI numbers. Come on. And then okay. So anyway, while this thing is loading, it's loading forever. Okay, while I'm still waiting for, yeah. here we go. Looking directly at the PPI numbers, producer price index. Look at this. Look at that. We saw core PPI came out as negative 0.1%. This indicates directly, clearly indicates a very good slowdown in the economy. Hence, we see inflation coming down. That was an indication that the economy is slowing down. Inflation now, chances that we will start to get a lower inflation, which that's if we were to look at this numbers, PPI numbers, you look at CPI numbers I did show you on the other side, you could now clearly state that you can clearly see that the economy is slowing down, inflation, just that inflation will continue coming down, for which is good for the stock market because now the Fed will start to consider cutting rates. The Fed will start consider cutting rates. That's what we look at Fed's Watch. But anyway, I'm not going to talk about the Fed's Watch. So these are the ideas that when you look at all the fundamentals that come through, you can clearly see that the market was starting to price in to hold support on most US stocks. But anyway, let's speak about the technical charts. What I'm looking at and looking, I also have a fundamental spreadsheet that I've created. I look at NFP, PPI, interest rate, GDP numbers to determine my fundamental bias. And on the fundamental bias, I have gold, GBP, USD, GBPAUD. Basically, the British pound is quite bullish. On the bearish side, anything against the yen, it's bearish. So, and gold is still bullish. So for gold, I told you that gold I did anti-trade. So for gold, I'm not gonna look into adding more trade, but however, I'm looking into holding there and then to continue to the upside. If that happens, I might trade my stop loss to this high just to continue moving my stop loss to profit because already I've lost out a good chunk of money on GBPAUD and GBP I was already up. Um, I was already up 1.5 if I'm not yeah. I was already up 1.1. 1:1 risk to ratio on GBP and on GBPAUD also. I was up 1:1 and 1:1.2 restores and everything reversed. And even worse, I added a position at the support and I've just taken a small loss here. That is why I'm saying the British pound is still as bullish, but with the losses that I have just taken here, I am still looking into. Let me just quickly do that. Oh come on, what am I doing? I am still looking into this support, which is close to 50% retracement. So I am still looking for a deeper retracement on GBP and AUD, GBP and ZD. I'm looking for a deeper retracement to that low or to that low and continue to the upside. If it's after this deeper retracement, if I still get a bullish reading, I will take the trade that I'm talking about. I'll still go long on these pairs. But anyway, the one I did say gold, I'm still holding gold, and gold is one that I'm looking for sure, to just to continue holding to the upside. An interesting one is GBPUSD. That's the most interesting one for me, and is a trade that I'm looking for a really good cool pullback. I'm not gonna chase price here. I'm just gonna look for a pullback. If it gives a good pullback, I'm interested in taking it. So for GBPUSD, I'm looking for this pullback here to the support. So because there is a daily fair value gap here, I want the fair value gap to hold to continue going to the upside. So this is what I'm waiting for, or to hold this support on GBPUSD. It's a trade that I'm looking for. I am gonna wait for this pullback because here it's slightly higher for me to take a trade. Look like I will be chasing price. That GBP USD, I did speak of USD JPY that I'm holding a good trade here, and those are the ones that I'll be looking at for the first 3 days of the week. USD JPY short. So because I'm already holding it, I am then gonna look into adding more trade on GBP USD USD JPY. Sorry, I'm saying things that are not there. Um, Come on, dude. What's my internet? Yeah, the internet is acting up. The internet is acting up. Exactly. So this is what I was talking about. I mean, I have a trade against the Japanese yen. I'm bullish on the Japanese yen against the dollar. So I am willing to just hold this trade till next week. I'm holding the support. I'm hopeful that this support will hold, then we start going lower to target the low there. But the big pair that I'm really focusing on and that I'm gonna keep a close eye on is GBP USD to retest this low. But anyway, I think I've spoken about the pairs that I'm looking for. Also, Euro JPY, anything against the Japanese yen. This one I'm just gonna be watching closely. If we start to see something like a break below this low, holds below and support there, maybe I might look to go short only if the fundamental spreadsheet is still saying it's bullish and I love the market structure on it, I'll definitely, and I love the technicals, I'll definitely take it. While GBP Euro AUD as well, as it is bullish, but I'm not just gonna trade a trade at this high. I'm gonna I'm gonna look for a deeper pullback and continue to the upside. Unless by then, if it does give me a bearish reading while it's still here, perhaps I might look to change the idea. But for now, I am gonna look for a deeper. I'm gonna look for a deeper pullback here to continue long. So these are the ideas that I have, and thank you so much, guys, for joining me. And good luck for the week coming. Before I go, just reminded me here. For Nasdaq and S&P 500, really, there's nothing much. The only thing I'll speak about here is we are holding this support. We are holding this support, and I'm really, really watching Nasdaq and S&P 500, the reaction here. What's going to happen here? If you hold this support and start to give me a bullish reading on the fundamental spreadsheet, definitely I am looking into buying this dip. This is a good dip for me to buy. It does have a good risk to reward here to come and target that high, all-time high here. But if it targets this all-time high, only if it does give me a bullish reading. And the reason why I will be comfortable in taking Nasdaq S&P 500, it's purely because now we had lower CPI numbers. Um, we started to see a slowdown in the economy where your PPI were lower. CPI came out 2.8. PPI start to see that the US economy now it's slowing down and inflation is dropping a bit. With lower inflation, we will start to predict that in the next quarter, the Feds will cut interest rates. And as the Fed cut interest rates, the dollar might continue to lose strength against other pairs. But indices, the risk on assets, will start to move on risk on asset because we're just offloading the risk on asset because of tariffs um, and when to go. But now, given that given given that we're getting lower inflation, we are, and I'm not saying this is for certain, but I think with inflation being at 2.8, um, jobs data is not as bad. PPI, we started to slow down, the economy started to slow down. Now we will see the Fed's cutting interest rates, and if the Fed's cut interest rates, the dollar might still continue getting a biting, but risk on asset will be the way to go now because interest rates are lower. Companies are interested now in taking loans to buy these things, and I think I'm looking for this dip here. If this dip holds the way I want, technically it makes sense, and then the fundamental spreadsheet is still, and then starts giving me a bullish rate, I'm definitely getting long on Nasdaq and S&P 500. But for now, um, it's not giving me anything, still neutral. Until then, I'm just gonna sit on my hands and watch what's gonna happen. But for now, I will say I do love the fundamentals on on indices or on risk on asset, except that Trump is making things difficult with the tariffs. That is why gold will still continue gonna go high. So much uncertainties with Trump's tariffs. But anyway, yeah, this is me, guys. This is what I wanted to share. Just in conclusion, I'm watching closely the British pounds against AU against the Australian dollar, and the reason why the Australian dollar it's starting to now get a bit bullish is because it's direct the pair is directly linked with the Chinese economy and gold. Oh, sorry. And we're seeing gold now starting to gain strength and push to the upside because of Trump's tariffs. Maybe that is why the British pound and AUD is not continuing to push to the upside. But however, I'm also interested in that. So anyway, guys, please, if you want to join me and see all the fundamental spreadsheet and the ideas of the trades I have, please click the link in the bio and join our Telegram group. And please do not forget to like and subscribe, guys, and share this live. And you have anything to say, just drop a comment, and let's interact. Let's teach each other. And this was our weekly focus. Have a great day. Love you. Peace.